What's going on, guys? I just want to make a quick video just for my take on this whole GameStop staying open currently in the environment we find ourselves with coronavirus and all these stores and society basically shutting down. It's pissed off a lot of people, but my take isn't so harsh. Call me an asshole if you want to, but I kind of see where GameStop is coming from here. Now, do I think they should close? Yes, but that's just the humanitarian in me. When I take a step back and look at the business aspect of this, it would really doom their entire business model. They don't have the ability to go very much longer without making money and be able to reopen up their doors. They are in dire straits when it comes to finances and long-term longevity for the success of their business. And they are limping to the finish line, if it ever gets here, for the next generation of consoles to hopefully reinvigorate their business and be able to sustain them while they do a complete overhaul of whatever business model they're going to be when Reggie shows up there in 420 and makes a bunch of hopefully changes for the better. Remains to be seen. But as of right now, it was first reported, I believe, by Kotaku, and Jason Schreier made a tweet about it, saying he couldn't believe that GameStop was going to try to stay open. They were saying that they were in essential business, which, let's be honest here, no, they're not. It's video games, it's not essential, but that's besides the point. They're just trying to skirt the laws in order to be able to stay open because they know if they close right now, they may not reopen their doors. So I can understand the frustration from Jason Schreier at Kotaku, and a lot of the people in the Twitter replies were like, oh my God, I can't believe this. GameStop's the worst company ever. I'm never shopping there again. I'm not supporting them. What an awful company. But again, take a step back and look at this realistically from their business perspective and say, this is catastrophic for a lot of companies out there, but especially those that were limping, hoping for some magical turnaround. This, whatever you can call it, is completely changing everything. And it's an unexpected circumstance that could completely destroy the company. So they do need to stay open, hopefully to get the sales from Doom, from Animal Crossing, from some long-awaited games they've been trying to stay open for, to sell, to make some money and get people in the doors once again. Because it's been quite a while since there was a major AAA title that people were looking forward to up until now. I mean, let's be honest, the beginning of the year didn't really have many games, but they're coming. And that's why GameStop basically has to stay open right now, because this moment is what they've been waiting for. GameStop is trying their best to care for the public and employees at the same time. They're closing the stores sooner and opening later. They're not taking used games anymore. They're putting a whole bunch of precautions in place, not allowing a ton of people in the stores, even though, let's be honest, they don't ever have a ton of people in the stores anymore. But there are a lot of reasons why GameStop is going to be open and take necessary precautions to ensure the safety of their employees. On top of that, there are a lot of employees at GameStop that rely on it. And I don't mean to make this channel political. I've seen the missteps of larger channels do that. Review Tech USA has taught many people to not make your channels political. But in this instance, I kind of think like politics are more of the problem with what's happening with GameStop right now. They are a victim of circumstance. And maybe it sounds like I'm just making a video, making excuses for GameStop this entire time, but realistically, the employees need those paychecks in order to pay rent, in order to pay their bills, in order to pay their car payments and buy food and put it on the table. Like, yeah, I know the money they get from GameStop is basically minimum wage, and the hours are probably terrible, but still, these people rely on that steady income in order to hopefully make ends meet. And the government has done nothing for the little guy. The only people right now that are suffering during this entire catastrophic event, outside of the people that are actually catching it, are the low class, the low income, these small mom and pop stores, or those stores that are on the verge of bankruptcy. All the big companies, all the gigantic corporations, they're going to be fine. All the rich people out there, this isn't affecting them at all. It's all the lowest of the low that are getting destroyed by this because of how the entire system is set up. And again, like I said, don't want to make this too political, but I'm just explaining why I feel like GameStop really is, their back's against the wall. They're doing what they have to do in order to try to survive the climate that they're facing today. The government's done nothing for the employees. So you could spin it saying GameStop's staying open because they want to be able to continue to pay their employees. We all know that's not the case. They're staying open because they need whatever revenue they can get coming in the doors right now. And that is what's keeping them alive. But if you want to spin it to the employees having money coming in, look, the government hasn't given them anything. And these people rely on that, and they're going into work still. They have to make that money. And until there's a better option available, unfortunately, this is a good thing for them to be able to make that money. I don't envy their position at all. I think it sucks. It's brutal. It's awful. And yeah, GameStop could do better and maybe pay them more. But again, they're in some dire straits right now and just trying to get by. So I guess my point with all of this is we shouldn't be upset at GameStop. I mean, first off, there are a ton of other stores out there that are trying to stay open through all of this. It's not just GameStop. I understand that Best Buy is still open. And obviously the Walmarts and Targets, because they can say they have groceries as well, but they're also still selling electronics. They're not shutting down that department. They're still making money off of this catastrophe. Like, that's the thing. I feel like people are so quick to just point fingers right at GameStop and be like, oh, what an awful, evil corporation to do this to people, instead of looking at it for what it is from a business perspective and saying, you know, okay, I get it. It's a tough situation, and the government right now is doing absolutely nothing to guarantee sustainability for anybody. So they're doing what they can do within their legal obligation and right to be able to do. I'm sure if GameStop was flourishing right now, they would easily shut down because that's an easy decision. But on the verge of bankruptcy without knowing if they're going to be able to open the doors again, then yeah, they're going to try to do whatever they can do to keep their business going. And this whole situation, man, nobody saw it coming, and it is really sending a ripple effect throughout the entire economy. And I really wish people wouldn't just focus on one company and say, oh, what an awful company for doing this. There are plenty of other companies doing what they can do to survive. And until somebody comes in and does anything to change that, it's probably only going to get worse. And I do not envy the employees that have to brave the day and take chances with their life at this point. Now, again, the situation is not as dire as the news might point it out to be, but I sure as hell wouldn't want to take my chances with it. So I don't envy them going in to potentially get themselves infected. It just sucks. It's a sucky situation. But again, I don't think GameStop is doing anything awful from a business perspective. I think they're doing what they have to do to survive, and it just really sucks. Smash,